Hello, everybody.
Vinny is a man, always doing what he can. Growing up tough, he knows how to be rough.
How are you? Just in time for a Marcus Semien four-bagger. I told you Marcus Semien was going to get hot, people. True, I don't believe he should be an everyday second baseman anymore, but I have to tell you, Marcus Semien, if he plays every day, is going to go 20-75 this year. I just hope he hits 250, not 215. But how are you, everybody? I came in a little early. I was supposed to come in later, but I figured, you know what? Let me spend some time with my friends here. I will tell you this much. They do look like a different team. And our boy Sean Manaea has hit 94 a couple of times on the gun. I don't know if he's eclipsed that. Hey, William. But he has hit 94, which you can see the difference. It's incredible. But you can see the difference when a guy throws 89 and 90 and when a guy throws 94, 93, 94. It just sets up the pitches differently. The key is Manaea is showing some control. He's getting the ball around the plate. But look, I feel great for Semien. I always liked Marcus Semien. Hey, Mitch, I always liked Marcus Semien. I always thought he was a gamer. You know, he came to play every day. He was a great fielder. And, you know, you always heard. Nowadays, if you don't hear anything bad about someone, that means they're good. Because when someone is bad, it's all over because of social media. So if you don't hear anything bad, that means they're actually good. But Jared Young again with a home run tonight. You know, he has been amazing, and Ewing makes a great catch in center field. Hey, Ira. So I have to tell you, it just seems like there's a different feel. Look, maybe it's fool's gold. Maybe because it was so bad that a scoreless inning looks good to me now, possibly. But I just get a different feel with this ball club. It may be, again, that things were so bad it couldn't go anywhere but up. But it's interesting the veterans are making it happen. Young, who's not a starter, didn't even think probably he'd ever be on the starting in the starting lineup, nor did the Mets. They would have had problems if they thought they were going to have to depend on Young. That means everybody was injured. Young is doing it. Soto, their veteran, 26 years old, veteran, doing it. Semien, doing it. The veterans, Manaea, pitching better. The veterans are doing it. And with infusion from the young bucks. This is something that I think is very interesting. I saw it again tonight after the catch. By whether it was Ewing or Soto, it doesn't matter. But Soto waiting for Ewing to cut in front of him to give him like a pat and smile. It looks like Soto really likes Ewing. He likes Benj as well. But it looks like he's really taking those guys under his wing. Now, could this be a jab at Lindor? Because now that Lindor's not around on the field, Soto gets close to Ewing and Benj, and it's more Soto's team with the young guys. Very possible. In fact, I would hope he's not that sinister, Soto, to think that way. But it just seems like Soto seems very happy. He's smiling now on camera. It just seems like he is having a lot of fun. And I know the team's not doing well, and I know he cares. It's not like he just doesn't care. He gets the paycheck. Soto cares. So maybe the infusion of youth has helped Soto to become a little more approachable. Because what was the knock on Soto? That he kind of was a loner, did his own thing. I have to tell you, it doesn't look like that way to me. Every time they zoom in to the dugout, Soto's smiling. He's talking to Benj. He's talking to Ewing. Those are his two outfielders. And I really believe that Soto is starting to feel good. And it certainly shows that he feels good and he's healthy. But I will tell you, I don't think it's any coincidence that Lindor is not playing and Soto's close to Benji Ewing, which it seems like those are the two guys he has taken under his. And who would be better if you're Benji Ewing? Who do you want to have as a mentor? And in fact, he was asked about being a mentor. And he said, no, I just want to be one of them. Maybe Soto is starting to feel some of the youthful enthusiasm that, let's face it, he's been around 7 years, Soto. I think so, Mitch. But I'm very, very impressed with what I see out of Soto. Because it looks like he's having fun. And look, Benji and Ewing are two of your staples. These are guys that are going to be around for 10 years, hopefully. And so will Soto. So I think it's terrific. And I also feel, I just can't help but to feel that Soto had the opportunity to take over this team with Lindor not around. Although Lindor, I believe, is in the dugout. But it looks like Soto is really starting to exert himself a bit in a veteran leadership role. And I will tell you, I like Soto. And I just see more of the old Juan Soto over the last month than I have at any other time. Even when the Mets were winning, I just see a different Soto now. Hey, Bang, that maybe, I don't know, maybe Cohen spoke to Soto. Look, would it be unlike anything you've ever heard for someone to say to a player, look, Lindor's here. We love Francisco, but it's disrespectful. We can't name you captain. But if something changes in the future, look, we signed you for 15, 16 years. You're the guy that's going to lead us into the 2030s and beyond. And maybe Soto is biding his time, because there's no doubt in my mind, that the thought of not having a captain will change if Lindor gets traded. All of a sudden, you will see Juan Soto captain. I don't think Soto likes that tag. But from what I see, I think he likes Benji Ewing. I think he sees them play hard, post every day, really care. I think he likes it. And look, it's such a tremendous, tremendous uplift with Manaea pitching well here. He just seems to have, he's getting the ball over the plate. He's not 2-0 against everybody. Big difference. Seattle has brilliant pitching, and it doesn't get any easier tomorrow. Brilliant pitching, William. But they don't score any runs. Colt Emerson is amazing. Colt Emerson's 20 years of age. He's going to be a superstar. Cole Emerson, I think, is going to be better than the guy on Baltimore. The shortstop, whatever his name, I forget his name. J.P. Crawford. Gunnar Henderson. But Seattle has very good pitching, and it's an interesting ballpark. But look, I think there's a lot of feel-good moments here. And I will tell you the truth. I'm very hard on the Mets. And if this is just a little period that they are playing solid mental baseball, and we fall back into a 10-19 run, I like what I see out of the rookies, and I certainly will be excited going into next season with Ewing and Benj and possibly Clifford, a couple of the young arms. Here's a strikeout. I think Scott looks terrific. Scott, I think Scott's always going to be he's always going to be prone to the home run ball, Scott. His fastball is live, but I think he's a pitcher that's going to give up 30 home runs a year. Hopefully they will be, solo jobs. Take it in a different direction. No, that's okay, Mitch. Don't worry about it. The Knicks is going to be interesting with the Knicks. And Manaea is circa a couple of years back. He looks good. So, look, I think that we have a lot of work to do. I think William might have said it yesterday, or Danny might have said it, one day at a time. One game at a time. And we have to just remember that good things happen when a work ethic is there, when players are happy. And again, I have to stress this because this was talked about ad nauseum, that Soto was a dour guy. He was all by himself. It looks like Soto is embracing the young players. It certainly does. He seems to really like Carson Bench. And it looked like he waited for Ewing. He didn't just jog off. Last year, he would have jogged off himself, and the center fielder would have followed him. This year, he actually stayed and then patted him. You see that, Mitch? I really do believe that Soto is getting involved with the team now. Again, could this be, a stick it to Francisco Lindor? Who knows? I'd hope not, but maybe. I don't know. All I know is Bayonet, we saw rock bottom 3 different times this year. I don't know. But I will tell you this much. I am perfect. And look, I'm not going to say Lindor is not a good player. I'm not going to say I was very, very excited when Lindor got here. He's certainly been well worth the $34 million he makes, looking at other salaries. But with the politics, with the rubbing Soto the wrong way. Look, I know Soto is not the most congenial guy in the world, but people grow up. They even said Dave Kingman, toward the end of his career, was helping young players, and Kingman was a prick. There were a lot of guys that were not nice guys that got older and they get older, and maybe Soto is learning that it's not all about just him. And maybe he's welcoming some young talent. Because look, the better they play, the better a shot he has to win. But let's make no mistake, and he's up now. Soto's Soto is the best player the Mets have ever had. I know that's a big statement. He's the best player the Mets have ever had. Juan Soto, when he finishes his career, is probably going to have 600 homers, a 400 on-base percentage, a 900 OPS. He's the real deal. Haley. And he's going to benefit a great deal from Ewing and Benj being in the outfield, playing left field. And he's locked in right now, too. And I don't know if you can see it, but he looks like he's lost weight, too. If you look at Soto, he's lost 5 to 10 pounds. Absolutely. He looked heavy last year. And maybe, with the leg injury, it's probably a lot of running and a lot of exercycle and a lot of all that. He probably lost some weight. But he certainly looks like he's thinned out a little, and I think the bat's a little quicker because of that. He doesn't look as thick around the middle, and it seems like his bat's a little quicker this year because of it. He's got that great eye. But you see him doing the gyrations. You see him doing the Soto things now, looking at the pitcher, going like that, smiling almost like he got me that time. He's getting comfortable here. He's hitting the ball hard, too. He's right on every pitch. But you see, he's always smiling. He seems always happy now. I think it's a great, great situation. You need your best player to be happy. William, I don't know. Now, this Soto could be happier in general. And maybe he does give Lindor more of a chance now. That's possible. It's a good point. Maybe with Benj and Ewing, he's happy. You gotta remember, he's only like 3 years older than Benj. He's still only 26, Soto. Soto's young, or 27. He's young, Soto. He's a young veteran. But I think that, it's very true, William. He may now be more open to Lindor. He's definitely thinner, Soto. He looks definitely thinner. Maybe that's the case. And look, there are people that I thought I wouldn't like. That was a nasty swing. And I ended up being fine. It takes that that come to Jesus moment where you're both either standing next to each other and it's like, what are we doing here? We're two adults here. We both can buy this stadium if we wanted to. What the hell do we have to be upset about? And I think that's what you may get now with Lindor and Soto. Because believe me, the broadcast, the cameramen, if Soto was talking to Lindor, that's the first thing they would show in the dugout. Would be big news. So obviously they're not doing that. What hip, Mitch? How did the hip come into this conversation? Yeah, Lee, he's been hitting the ball hard down first base. Daniel Murphy has a great career ahead of him as an analyst. He's excellent. It's nice to have someone that's been in baseball recently, too. It's nice to have someone who's played in the last decade. Most of the guys haven't. Seal's been out of baseball 20 years. All these guys have been out of baseball a long time. It's nice to have a fresh perspective from someone who's been around recently. All right, we go to the bottom 7. This is a big game for the Mets. This is a character game for the Mets. It's a character building game for the Mets, too. I think William put it up here. It's the 14th anniversary of the Johan Santana no-hitter. That really wasn't no-hitter, but there was an instant replay around back then. I was in the car on my way to Atlantic City when that happened. I was driving to Atlantic City. I remember telling my friend, can you believe it? Santana threw a no-hitter. But it was a great, great time. Really was. But look, this is interesting tonight. Hopefully we have a nice cast here where we can be happy. I can do the happy dance.
The 9 innings, he kept that pitch count down and had a complete game shutout.
Through just 96 pitches. And for Call, loops one into center. Late start in for Neuenhuis, but he gets there. First time he will do that in 2 years. And Santana with a great changeup strikes him out. 2-2 to Holiday. In the air to right, and Duda moving to his left. Side
It was
retired.
a great defensive play.
Matheny was always a manager in the making when he was a player. This one's driven to center field by Craig right off the DL. A long drive run down by Nieuwenhuis for the first out. And Santana gets him with a changeup. And Green takes strike 3 call. Fastball in the inside corner. And Wainwright hits a 2-hopper to right. Ball comes up for David, and he makes the play. And they announce contract. Well, that's the way it goes. Duda moves over to the edge of the warning track to grab the fly ball by Furcal for the second out.
Poor Mets uniform.
Line to short and snagged by Quintanilla. So Santana has a 1-2-3 inning. He threw 9 pitches, 9 strikes. No score in the third. Popped up. Murphy with the angle coming over, but Ike will take it. And that's the first out. David Freese hits it to center field. Playable for Nieuwenhuis.
For Kurt, because he was really destitute.
That changed.
And he wouldn't accept any. I remember Marvin Miller telling me this will end the inning right here. This pop-up, Marvin Miller real quick
to the end.
It has happened! There, 1 out. Seaver to take a no-hit bid to the 9th inning. Matt Holliday leads off. Line drive, center field. On comes Torres, and he gets there, 1 out. Left field, Nieuwenhuis coming on. 2 out.
Imagine the nerve.
He struck him out. It has happened. In their 51st season, Johan Santana has thrown the first no-hitter in New York.
Oh, yeah. I remember that, too. That no-hitter. What was it, 1978? That was a great pitch. Home run. 2-2. Brooks Raley. This is the guy that the Mets were going to sign for first base. Naylor. Well, it's a new ball game. Look at this shot. Jeez, nice. Yeah, Seattle tied it late. Long home run. Hey, look. I still have a good feeling. Yeah. William, he pitched very well. It's a great thing. Well, bench call. Well, the ball's flying. That ball kept on traveling. I thought Seattle was a tough place to hit balls. It looked like he half swinged that to the warning track. The Met Maniacs, Ewing and Ewing. Benjamin Ewing. All right, 1 out. Yeah, William, get used to it in the outfield. You're going to see a lot of Gold Glove defense, caliber defense in center and right, at least, with Benjamin Ewing. Ewing, I think, has proven that he's here to stay. He's not getting sent down. He brings too much to the table defensively. I'm very curious to see if I could just look here. We've come a long way since Jesse Winkler. Juan Soto. knows excellent defense when he sees it. They're great, Soto said. See if we can just look at the I want to get to their defense. Take a pitch. Ooh. Oh, that's a strike. Strikeout. This would be a good game to come back and win. Nolan McLean, 4.21. Freddie Peralta, 3.55. Clay Holmes is a big loss. And that's Christian Scott, 2.97 ERA. Razabon continues, 1.86. 29 innings, 16 hits. The key is 12 walks. It's not great, but it's usually worse. And a whip on the 1. That's a good pitch. Looking for the defensive stats. See if I can find it. I'm just very curious in 20 games or 25 games, whatever he's played, if Ewing is a plus defender. Another hit. Really used to be untouchable. What happened to him? Okay, it looks like I'm looking for the individual. Why can't I find it here? You didn't jinx him, Seth. Seth, I got your email today. I would have loved. Thank you for asking me. I would have loved to call that game with you. We have to do that one night. Maybe we could do a Nick. That would be fun. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Fielding. Okay. Right now, Bo Bichette is a -12 defensive zone. Terrible. Soto's -2. Who was I looking for? Carson Bench is -5. Range, he hasn't done well defensively. And Ewing is a +11. Just goes to show you. Ewing already is a +11 defensive run range. Benj, I'm surprised. Benj isn't been as, Benj looks great, but Benj isn't great defensively. Not yet. Ewing's unreal. Marcus Simeon +6 now. Oh, run saved -5. Simeon has not been great defensively either. I guess he's not getting to a lot of balls. Brett Beatty's been positive. Turen's positive. Tyrone Taylor hasn't been good. Let me tell you what happens to center fielders more so than anyone. Center fielders lose it very quickly. Center fielders lose it very quickly defensively. They could be great defensively one year, the next year, terrible. And then what they do is they learn to take a better path to the ball and they improve a little. But Taylor's not elite anymore. He's good. He's not elite. Like Benj looks elite. No, Benj just looks that much better than Soto. That's the thing. We're used to seeing other right fielders. Benj looks like a Gold Glove compared to everybody we've had out there. He's not. Ewing, I think, is eventually. Yeah, he's made a few mistakes. He doesn't take a good route to the ball. Benj, he's got to learn. Got to learn right field. City field is tough right field. Ewing, I think, will be a bona fide top 3 center fielder defensively. I think you will see metric-wise, he'll always be in the top 3. I really believe that. Ewing is that good. He's that good that he just Benj never sniffed center field again once Ewing came up. And you've seen Ewing, and he has the better arm. He's more accurate than Benj. Let's go, Weaver. Whoa. Look at Soto. You see? He's just so much nicer now. You almost like Soto now. Well, Lee, that was Stearns. His MO is getting interchangeable players, good athletes. Well, look at the Mets athletically this year. He's made them better defensively. They're in the top 6 in defensive runs scored. They were 28th last year. So he has done that. The relief pitching, middle of the league, it's been okay. And starting pitching has been fine. Yeah, Lee, Juan Soto, do you notice that Juan Soto's been a lot nicer? It looks like he's a little happy now. But I think that, Stearns did make the team more athletic. Because Simeon, as old as he is a better athlete than Jeff McNeil. They are, Mitch, and they're holding their own. I think Benj will go up to 270, back down to 250. I think Benj is going to hit 250 this year. I think Ewing will hit 240, 250. That's it. But I think with Ewing, you're going to get more contact than Benj. They both have an idea of what's going on at the plate. But I think Ewing, I don't think he's a 100 strikeout guy as a regular. Strikeout probably right around 100 times. Benj probably $120. But look, they're learning on the job. They're going to have a full season in come next year. Bichette has made us forget Jason Bay already. William, I agree. You know what it is, William? There's so much more that we don't know about. I'm sure a lot of it was politics. I really do believe that. I think a lot was politics. Much more than we're led to believe. All of a sudden, everybody jumped ship. That's not a coincidence. You didn't have Charles Manson running through the clubhouse. Something happened. It was, I think guys were uncomfortable. Look, Soto already said that he will not wear the pride thing on his. Some guys are very offended by that. Not offended with pride, offended that a pride flag shouldn't be going on during Veterans Day. Some guys feel enough is enough. And I think that it bothers some guys. I think guys want to come in and worry about the standings, not worry about who you're voting for, what this guy said. They don't give a shit. You want to win. That's what you should be worried about. If you're worried about the mayor, you shouldn't be on the baseball team. William, I think he has. And I think his attitude has changed. You could see it. I don't remember ever seeing, well, maybe I wasn't looking for it, but I didn't see Soto smile like this last year. I don't remember seeing Soto so loose. He seems loose now. And I want to see now when Lindor comes back if it's the same. Because listen, let me tell you something. Stearns will get rid of Lindor. Soto you're married to till Soto's 40 years old. You have to make a choice. And the choice is Soto. Oh, he got hit with that pitch. Seattle's a nice ballpark there. I thought for sure Beatty would be like a 270 hitter. I agree, William. He takes the worst swings, Beatty. Beatty can't hit a breaking ball. I would never throw him a fastball. But look, they're the red hot Simeon on deck. Simeon all of a sudden is on pace for like 17 homers and 70 RBIs. Look at this pitch. Okay. I know I say I can't see Beatty anymore. I've had enough of Beatty. You know, how much do I have to see Beatty? I don't want Beatty anymore. You know, I've had enough of Beatty. What happened here? Interference? Can't be good. He's running out. Mendoza. 2 out, double play. Beatty. Yeah, Beatty's terrible, Daniel. I can't stand Beatty. Beatty never helps you. He never helps you. You ran right. You couldn't tag yourself any better than he did. I think it was calling for obstruction. He was in the path, but he's feeling the ball. There should have been interference. Let's go, Simeon. Jack one. I would have he should have ran right into the ball. He should have ran right into the ball. Yeah, some of these players I just don't want to see anymore. Maybe because I've seen enough of them, like Melendez. I've seen enough of Melendez. I don't have to see him anymore. What does he do for you? He hit a big home run, but Melendez and Beatty's terrible. Beatty's horrible. Well, that's the problem, William. The Mets have. I would look into player development because the Mets, their players do not get any better. Well, that was a bad swing, boy. They don't get any better, their players. They stall. They stall around AAA. Hey, Game. How are you, man? Yeah, well, Beatty's terrible. Beatty is a quadruple A player. Beatty's a lifetime 340 hitter in the minor leagues. He just cannot make that jump. And I think he's been around a long enough time now. And it's a shame. It really is. To me, once you've had, 1,500 at-bats in the major leagues, you pretty much are what you are. He's been up 1,100 times. He has a career on-base percentage, not even 300. Career OPS of 662. How much do you have to see? This is who Brett Beatty is. Brett Beatty's going to be he's going to be 27 in November. This is who Brett Beatty is. Brett Beatty's not getting better. At least not with the Mets, he's not. Now, conversely, Bo Bichette is a lifetime 789 OPS guy, lifetime 288 hitter. So there is every reason to believe that Bichette is going to find his way, right? MJ Melendez, he's a lifetime 215 hitter. Did you know that? That's his lifetime batting average with 1,500 at-bats. 215. I don't know why anybody would think that he was the answer. I'd rather bring up a minor leaguer. When that went off the bat, I thought it was a home run. I better get my eyes checked. Marcus Semien, lifetime 752 OPS, lifetime 253 batting average. Semien is a good player. And he'll be 36 in September. Now, you want to look at players. Juan Soto's lifetime OPS is 949. It's 976 this year. This year, 13 homers and 29 RBIs. He's 157 at-bats. 5 stolen bases. He's hitting 299. He does everything right, Soto. I'm curious. Oh, Soto's been great, Lee. William, I think everything snowballed. Why is Bo Bichette a fool? He's not a fool, Daniel. He's just not having a good year. Not a fool, do you know him? He's not a fool. He's a good player. He won the batting title this year. Weaver has turned it on a bit. He's been pretty good. But you are right that, Daniel, maybe Bichette's not going to get hot. Maybe this is just, I don't think he's going to hit 210. He'll probably hit 235, 240. I thought he'd hit 265 this year. I believe he'll have a month where he'll hit 360 for the month. He's too good a hitter, Daniel. He's too good a hitter. He's not even 215. Look, if you look at Bichette's stats, he's still on par for like 18 homers and 80 RBIs this year. You know, one hot month and Bichette knocks in 90 runs this year. I think he'll be traded. This guy looks like a left-handed Fernando Tatis. Oh, he hit that ball hard, man. He caught that too? What a catch. He's unbelievable. He is unbelievable, Ewing. No, you're right. He should have more pop. And if he's going to not have pop, at least gap. I thought Beatty would be a gap hitter. I thought he'd be a 35 double guy, right center and left center. He did that his rookie year. He has a nice swing, Beatty. It's just he has a lot of holes in it. You're not a fan, Daniel? Daniel, I'd never guess you're not a fan of Bo Bichette. I'm joking. Look, Bo Bichette's a good ball player. I'll tell you one thing, Daniel, that he did surprise me. Bo Bichette was doing well at third base. When he went to shortstop, he's a terrible shortstop. Most of his defensive rating has come because he took over short last month. He was doing very well at third base. He was pretty good. His first 3 games he wasn't. And then I think his last 20 or 25 games at 30 to make an error. He was playing well. But this is just big for the Mets. If they can win this game, such a big game for them. It just puts you, first of all, very quietly. He did very well, Daniel. Very quietly, you've won 5 in a row. You won this game. Seattle's a tough place to play. And Warren is like Mariano Rivera. I can see Warren making the All-Star team. He has a 1.40 ERA. He's been a little lucky. He has a 1.2 whip. He's gotten out of some jams. And he's walked 9 guys. Warren doesn't have great control. Raley hasn't been lights out like he was. His stats are great, Raley, but he hasn't been lights out. And Luke Weaver. Do you know? I don't know if you know this now. And this is going to surprise you. Because you know the start that Luke Weaver got off to, right? Do you know that Luke Weaver's ERA is now 2.77 for the year? Think about it. Luke Weaver's ERA is now 2.77. Luke Weaver's been very good. Their pitching is unbelievable. Luis Torrens, he played here like 5-6 years ago. He was terrible when he was here. He was a backup catcher. Am I joking? No. 2.77 ERA he has. Weaver's been great. He figured it out. Well, you know what it is too, Daniel? You have to use guys where they belong. You know, Brooks Raley can't be your closer. Weaver shouldn't be your closer. I know, I couldn't believe it either, Daniel. I happened to stumble upon it. 2.77 is ERAs. He's really been good. Yeah, they really have. They've been great. Yeah, I'm looking at his stats for the year, Weaver. Weaver, 24 innings, 8 walks and 24 strikeouts. Well, that's a key too. He's getting the ball over the plate. He was walking guys. But he's been brilliant. He's given up 2 home runs in 24 innings, which isn't terrible. 1.09 whip, and that's because it was so terrible in the beginning. Absolutely, Daniel. You can't put guys where they don't belong. Absolutely. You have to put pitchers where they can succeed. That's what's great about Terry Francona, the manager. Francona helps players to succeed. I don't think Mendoza does that with the pitching staff. Look at that swing. That's a real. Bench is a very tough time with this pitch. Bench can't hit the off-speed stuff inside, low and offside. He can't hit it. There it is again. Bench just can't hit that pitch. That's his weakness. Inside breaking stuff. Yeah, right, William? No, look, Weaver's been very good. Can't, we had a blow-up spot a couple of times the first 3 weeks of the season. Other than that, I don't think he's given up a run like his last 7 appearances. Yeah, he can't hit a curveball. And Devin Williams. Yeah, that's Benj is going to have to lay off that pitch. You can't hit those low sliders. I think that Ewing will be a higher average guy than Benj. I think Benj will have more power. I think Benj will be a 15 to 20 home run guy eventually. I think Ewing will hit 12, but I think Ewing's going to be a 280 hitter. I think with Ewing's speed, he'll have 15 to 20 infield hits a year. I think if he bunted, he'd have a lot of hits. They just don't do that anymore. But this is it. So I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing a good special tomorrow on Tom Jones, the singer. You may like it. Come in. You'll love it. Yeah, Daniel. Not yet. Daniel, where are you from? If you don't mind me asking, where are you living now? Are you in the East? What's New Pussycat? I love that song. Tom Jones is good. He's like 80 something now, and he's still Jersey, okay. And he's still a great singer. He still has a great voice, Tom Jones. Pussycat, pussycat, I love flowers. Good entertainer. I saw him about 30 years ago. Yeah, Tom Jones, tremendous. What's New Pussycat? Yeah, it was funny. Yes, he did Thunderball. Yeah, it's unbelievable, William. The Mets have bounced around. So, New Jersey, Daniel. Very nice. I will let you know. Are you South Jersey? I'll let you know when I go to Atlantic City. We'll meet up for a cappuccino or something. I'd love to meet you. 86. Still has a great voice. I remember when he was the headliner at Caesar's Palace. Late 60s. He had some good songs. All right, this is it here. Let's see. This is important. Let me put the blanket over my feet. And swing and a miss. Late nights here, huh? Here's a good pitch. Bottom 9. Oh, yeah, Lee. Who's so funny, Daniel? Hey, Rock. How are you? Like the insurance man with your girlfriend, right? You want a piece of the rock? Who's the funny guy? Me? Am I? Yeah, I have my moments. You're lucky in Jersey, right? I remember they had a commercial like 20 years ago. Jersey and you, perfect together, right? Come to New Jersey like a vacation spot. Honey, fuck Hawaii. Pack, we're going to Bayonne, you lucky bitch. Can you imagine? Do I make you laugh, Daniel? I'm happy. That's what I'm here for. Thank you, Daniel. Hey, Rock, Philly, what's going on with them? Give me an update. No, we're 1-1, ninth inning, bottom of the ninth. Pitched well. Seattle has great pitching. Did Philly play today? Or were they off? I'll never fall in love again. That's a good song, Mitch. Young Mexican Puppeteer is a good song. Whoa! Just missed. That was a good setup. You set him up. Thank you, Daniel. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. I'm glad if I can make you happy a little. Absolutely. Better laughing than crying. You get that right. And we are your daddy. Yes, Dan. Absolutely. Yeah, my oh, okay. They might have been off tonight. Let's see. No, I think they were off tonight. They start the Padres come in tomorrow. Wheeler looks good, huh? I'm going to England in October. Yep, I'm going to see where the Beatles hung out. The Marlins challenged that. Ray Charles could have saw that was a ball. Not only was he blind, but he's dead. Yeah, mid-October, I'm going to England and going to bang around Liverpool. Should be fun. Saturday, going up to the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga. Me, Ira, and Al are doing our big race thing. We usually go for the big races. Lee, if you were here, you would have been coming. We do that. Rock, not terrible. Probably, I'm going with my friend. My end, probably 2,500. The air is like $1,000. The air is the expensive thing now. The air's expensive now because of gas. Maybe it'll go down. I didn't book it yet. We're probably going to stay in London and then a 2-hour north to Liverpool, take the day trip. Oh, what a play. That was a nice play. Is that Beatty? Oh, that's a pretty good play. I'm looking forward. I've been to London. I was there in the early 90s. Yeah, Lee. Yeah, we're going to go leave Saturday morning like we always do. Should be good, the Belmont Stakes. We have that trip down pat. Ivor drives. And Al and I, we bring him to eat. Takes us about 3 hours to get up there. 3:10, I forget. 3:20. We have a good time. We have a. Well, defensively, he's not bad at all. Game. Met challenge. That was further than the other one. How do you challenge that? It's ridiculous. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Go out to see Lee in June. Going in July with Ira to see his brother. Be golfing a little. So I'm going to have a full summer. Good pitch. Oh, yes. Game 4. Absolutely. Well, I'm better than Bichette defensively. Not by a lot, but I am. That was, look at Devin there. Skipping and jumping, doing the fucking John Travolta on the mound. Soto's leading off. Manfred Mann warning ahead. What? Strike? Yeah, it'll be a strike. But yeah, we found this restaurant, this Italian restaurant up in Saratoga. And it's a great restaurant. I mean, for Italian in up there, it's good. And it should be a nice day Saturday. I'm hoping the weather is nice to see. What is the weather forecast for Saturday at Saratoga, New York? 77 degrees and showers. Oh, 75%. Chance of 75. I wish, Lee. I got Lee into horse racing. I took Lee to Tampa. Well, he took me to Tampa. I hit I just missed winning 7,000. I won about 3,000. Yes, you're right. Solo homer. So this is it. This is for him, right? I don't know if he can hit a home run with anybody on base. Who made the last out? You'll be watching the Belmont Stakes. I'll be doing a show about the Belmont Stakes probably Friday with my friend Mike. We've done some horse racing shows before. Oh, Bichette. Not a great base run of Bichette. Yeah, a little. But we do a great horse racing handicapping show. Watch it. I'll post the link. Juan Soto. You almost want to walk him. He's 0 for 3. He's due. Yeah, Friday, Lee. You almost want to walk him, set up a double play. Yeah, Rock, you'll enjoy it. We'll cover the whole Saturday card, which should be a good card. We're gonna have to leave early. I think it starts early. Daniel, yeah, well, that's why he 0 for 3. He's due. I don't know if I'd pitch to him. But yeah, anytime I go to Florida, I love it. Lee and I went to a Tampa Ray game. Yeah, I know he makes a lot of money, Daniel, but he was a really good free agent sign. Look, he's done everything you could ask for. The guy, if last year, if Ohtani doesn't have that year, Soto wins the MVP. He's got a great eye. It takes balls not to just swing at that pitch when you're down 1-2. Now with the challenge, although are the Mets out of challenges? Oh no, they get a new one. That's why they used up the 9th inning one. You get one in extra innings. Oh. He challenged it. Oh, he was right, you see? You're pretty sure if Soto challenges it, it's a ball. Soto will end up being a great hitting coach. This is going to be the slider. They're not going to give him a fastball. Yeah, Beatty needs the help from someone. Keith Hernandez. I think he's too old now to go in the cage. But Keith would help Beatty. Struck him out. He wasn't looking for a fastball. He thought he was giving him the changeup. Yeah, he was expecting off speed. Look how late he was. I knew this first one would be a tough game to win. The clown. Good against lefty pitching. Come on. He couldn't steal anyway. He wouldn't steal, but there's no guarantee that he will score from with a base hit. But look, we're doing okay. We're in this game. We just don't score. But you know what? A lot of teams don't score off this pitching staff. So we'll see. Come on. Get a hit. This pitcher looks good for Seattle. I'm guessing he's one of their better pitchers. He's got a 4.77 ERA, this guy, on the mound. He hasn't been good this year. This guy coming in, he strikes out a lot of guys. 34 strikeouts in 21 innings. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. How the hell does he have this bad an ERA? Guy looks like he has great stuff. And now you start running. You can't make it up. I've never seen a guy hit a ball, wait for about 4 seconds, and then start running. Now, Vientos looks like he lost weight, doesn't he? This is so big here. Come on, Vientos. Strike 3. Come on already. I'm so sick of some of these guys. It's a good pitch. But, I don't need to see Vientos anymore. I don't need to see Beatty, Melenda. I don't need to see these guys anymore. Bring up minor leaguers and let them play. Okay, Rock. Good seeing you, man. Okay. Take care, brother. Okay, we got Ewing. We need Ewing. Yeah, so it's going to be a busy summer, Lee. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I wish you could meet us with Ira in North Carolina. I wonder how long the drive is for you. What would you think North Carolina is, Sunset Beach, from you? 9 hours? How far is Sunset Beach, North Carolina, to Brooksville, Florida? $547 miles. About 8.5 hours, right? No, I know what you're saying. I got to see if I can actually swing. I'm going to just wedge. I'm not going to, full. I don't think I could do it. I'll let Ira drive, and I'll just wedge and putt. We're going to look at some places down there. Condos. Ooh. Got a piece. Yeah, you're right, Will. Oh, you know what? That looked like he just missed it. That didn't even look like a foul tip. As Ronnie was saying, Mets are out of challenges. Come on. 3-2. I would think, Daniel, right? Yeah, so it's going to be a busy summer, Lee. I'm working 3 days a week. I'll be teaching 3 days a week now, Lee. Songwriting 101. I'll let you see the courses. Let me pop that up. God damn it. Lee, these are the courses. Songwriting 101. Voice lessons with karaoke. And the 60s, the decade of transformation. I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, so 3 days a week I'm teaching. I'm taking on a lot. So I had to reschedule some classes to go to Florida, to North Carolina. Yeah, Will. So I'm teaching Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Mary, how you? Yeah, celebratory dancing 101. Yeah, I enjoy teaching. And the 60s, that decade, I'm teaching a module with 10 classes. He would be a great hitting coach, Joe. And, each year will be a class, 60, 61, 62, 63. The libation. Yeah, you're right, William. William, congratulations. That what you had told me. Yeah, the odds aren't good here. I'd almost walk right away. I'd walk first guy. But I like to plan busy summers. And now that I'm teaching 3 days a week, I usually teach 1 or 2. Oh, here's AJ Minter. Oh, you're very welcome, William. Congrats. Can I tell them, William? Am I allowed to spread the good news? The good cheer? Danny Caps, how are you? William is going to be a grandfather. And, God, I look like Rob Monkchill here. Congratulations. And I'm sure you are an amazing one. It is great. It is great. Being a grandfather, I'm sure, is great because you can give them back when you're sick of them. I will tell you a story. I'll leave it for after the Mets win. The Mets win. The Mets win. Minty used to stick it right up the Met. No Vaseline or anything. He used to just ram up the line. Come on, AJ. You know what? He's pitching carefully to anyway. I thought he was going to walk him anyway, intentionally. I guess they just were hoping he'd get himself out, which he almost did with that pop up to first base. Come on, AJ. There's a strike. There's a strike. When my son was born, I used to have this. Well, I'll tell you this. AJ's going to get him out. I just know it. I feel it like the air conditioning. Come on, AJ. When my son was born, I used to go to the Fame Diner right in my neighborhood all the time, read the Post, the news, watch sports and everything. He's born. I forgot. I went for my regular thing, and the waitress says, "Oh, how's little Vinny?" Little Vinny! And I ran back to the house. He was still sleeping. You imagine? William, that's amazing. That is really great. All my best. Long as the kid's not call himself a bread box or something. Come on, AJ. Yes. Game. It's great. And William's a cool guy. William was on a few days ago. I had him on. He's a classy guy. Nice guy. You must be excited, William. He's stealing? He stole third. Well, now you have to. What do? If you walk him, you don't play the infield in, because that defeats the purpose of the double play. Look, he never watched him. That's it. See, that's ridiculous. How did he just not watch it? The infield's in. I remember Bob Murphy. They'll play halfway. Cole Young. This fucking kid's good. Got out of high school, I think, in May. And that should be it. Oh, wait. No, that's it. Base hit, RBI. Mets lose. Cole sticks it to them again. Oh, well. I'd like to say it was a bad loss. The bats are tired. You know, it was a travel night, a walk-off hit. This guy is going to be one of the best players in the league in a couple of years. He beat you twice tonight. What are you going to do? Hey, Mike, how are you, man? No surprise, unfortunately. But, you know, you win tomorrow and you roll the dice Thursday. Yeah, the ghost run is ridiculous. It is totally ridiculous. First of all, I'll tell you what's wrong with the ghost runner. The ghost runner, I don't know, you're using pitching for nothing. It's just ridiculous. It is disappointing. Mike, you know what? Tomorrow's another day. We can go after them tomorrow. We have Jonah Tong against Gilbert. Gilbert's been okay. He's a good pitcher, Gilbert. We'll see with Tong. Tong's going to go 5. He's not going to go longer than that. I know, Joe, but this ghost runner, you don't really earn the win. You're not really winning the game. Although your pitching's getting rewarded for not giving up a run in the top. But, yeah. But, look, the Mets, the same story. They couldn't hit. It's a tough place to play. No one scores off this pitching staff. Simeon is red hot, and I think that he's turned the corner a bit. Yeah, Soto did nothing tonight. Well, hey, Ray. Well, Vientos, we know what Vientos is. Soon as we're just about ready to give up on him, he'll go 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. You know, he teases you. That's it. You don't want him up there for contact. You know he's probably not going to make contact. You know, in a full season, he's 180 strikeout per year guy. Yeah, you're right, Joe. You're right, Game. You're absolutely right. Look, you couldn't say it more eloquently than me, I am giving myself credit for this. I said, you know what this generation's about? This generation is living home longer than they ever did. Daddy's working 3 jobs, working 120 hours a week to support your car and your college and all that. And do you know what your kid wakes up worried about? Not if daddy's going to have a heart attack. If great-great-great-grandfather knew a slave owner. That's what school's teaching you, and that's why America is in the way it's positioned. Yeah, you know, Joe, see, that is a good point. That's a great point. It's true, Dementia. It's true. That's what they're worried about. The great-great-great-grandfather, was he in the proximity of a slave owner? That's what they give a shit about. Not that daddy's fucking dying because he's got to support your fucking 38-year-old ass. Don't get me started. So, and look, that went into the Met clubhouse. So look how that worked out. So, but I think it's a great idea. I renounce Mary. Absolutely. I would say, yeah, 3 innings and a ghost runner would be great. I think it would be excellent. And I'll go even further. For the ghost runner, you could bring in, if you pitcher, other than the starter, if you had a pitcher that was in from the 8th inning or 7th inning on, you could bring him in. No, you're right, Joe. Nail is good. The Mets wanted to sign him. He looks like a sumo wrestler, but he's good. He's a decent fielder, too. He's pretty good. He gets bigger. It's like a balloon. He gets bigger every friggin' year. But he's a good player. Good contact hitter, too. Hits for a decent average. But so this is a tough loss, okay? We lose this game. Should we have lost this game? Yeah, probably. We had a couple of hits. You're not going to on the road. You're not supposed to win. You're not supposed to go to the 10th inning if you've had 3 hits the whole game. Daniel's favorite word is clown. If I could go back to all my shows to see how many times Daniel's used the word clown, 10,000. I'm talking about 1 week's worth of shows. I'm joking. Daniel's from Jersey. They build tunnels in Jersey so you can sneak in and out of there at night. Right? You fought in the car in Jersey, they roll the windows up. So, bad loss? No. Expected loss? I don't know. We had won 4 in a row. It looked like we had turned the corner. And look, maybe we did. We see a lot of positive signs. Simeon's playing well. Soto up until today. New York Clown. Simeon's getting hot. Weaver's pitching excellent. Williams is pitching well. Manaea has pitched better than he has in a year and a half. We have some positive signs. But it's rough. I love Juan Soto. Yeah, Juan Soto's great. Juan Soto, when Ohtani finally hits 35 or something, maybe Soto will win an MVP. We'll get Mendoza on. We'll see what he has to say. I wish I could do a happy dance for you. What was that? When you put yourself in a shit show? No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, and I don't want to see Beatty anymore either. I've seen enough of Brett Beatty. I can't see Brett Beatty anymore. You know what you get out of Brett Beatty. Yeah, Ray, Williams has been good. Weaver's been excellent. I was showing them, Ray, before you came in. You know Weaver's ERA right now is about 2.76. Can you believe it? I would have never guessed that. Williams is probably 5 or something, but Weaver's been great. I don't know the last time Weaver gave up an earned run. But he seemed to have turned the corner. And Williams is okay. He gave up that grand slam, but he's been okay. He hasn't had a lot of opportunities to save games. Daniel, I don't know. I don't think Mark Vientos, well, he's not playing. He was pinch hitting, right? I don't think Vientos should be a starter. Vientos would not be a starter on any playoff team. He'd be an extra infielder. Beatty is what he is. Beatty can't hit a breaking ball. Beatty can't hit a breaking ball, and you're starting to see now Carson Bench can't hit an inside breaking ball either. It looks like they have the book on him now. Yeah, he's pitching well, right? So, we lose a game that, look, it's disappointing, sure. And I thought we actually had a shot, not when we went up 1-0, but when it was 1-1 and I saw Weaver pitching well, I think, maybe I knew it was going to be 2-1 here. Yeah, game, but Vientos gives you nothing in the field unless you're DHing him. He's terrible on the bases. And he doesn't hit enough home runs to warrant playing. If the guy was a 35 home run guy, which, look, if he played every day, he'd probably hit 28. But, look, the injuries are killing them. I don't know. Lindor is hurting them. As much as I don't like Lindor anymore, he's a positive to the lineup. You can't say he's not. You'd have Bichette back at third where he belongs. But I don't even know that I would think he's out another month probably, Lindor. This was a long injury. And I would think probably 3 weeks for Alvarez. You're getting along with Torrens, but, that's not going to last for long. Mets have an uphill climb. It's true. When you have a shit show of 30 games, you can't afford to lose series anymore. When you're up 2-0, you have to sweep it. And when you're down 2-0, you can't get swept. That's the key. The third game is the biggest for you now for the rest of the season. I tell you, Game, he's been okay, though. Now, he's a good bench player. He gives you a decent at-bat. He doesn't strike out a lot. I have no problem having him on the bench play a little first, DH against the righty. I have no problem with that. I don't want to see Vientos in the lineup anymore. I don't want to see Beatty in the lineup anymore. They just don't have anyone else to play. I think if Mauricio was healthy, you wouldn't be seeing Beatty all that much. Yeah, well, look, Stearns he was a genius the first year because he got lucky. This year, he's not. But, we're down an infielder that is an impact guy, at least for us and Mauricio. He's a positive player defensively. You can't play Vientos at third. You can't play him at first base either, really. You can't. Vientos isn't a first baseman. Yeah, Cyclone. Yeah, Beatty was supposed to be. And coming off this year, last year, they could have traded Beatty for a lot. Hey, Jess. Yeah, absolutely was winnable. Oh, you give up 2 runs on the road. You should win. Ewing was outstanding tonight, and you're going to get more of that all year. Ewing's just an exceptional center fielder. But I think that, you're going to get a lot of games that this lineup, until further notice, is not going to do enough to win. You give me the Dodgers, anybody, other than maybe 6 teams win this game tonight. Yeah, Brett Beatty's not a major league hitter. Brett Beatty's a 4A hitter. He's too good for AAA. He can't play every day. He's a great bench player. I have no problem Beatty starting 60 games a year, getting 280 at-bats, 300 at-bats. That's fine. Beatty can't play every day. Can't play every day. Mark Vientos, same thing. You want to DH him, play him 40 games at first base, give him 300 at-bats. He'd hit you 18 homers, 16 homers. Yeah, that's fine. Ewing will, John. I think Ewing, he has an idea of what he's doing. He might be still a little overwhelmed. But Ewing he gives you a professional at-bat. I think he guesses wrong once in a while when he gets on the breaking stuff. He still has to prepare for a fastball, and that's why. Hey, Kamzi. Oh, are you a Seattle fan? Oh, good for you. Well, congratulations tonight. Yes, Seattle, look, good organization, and congratulations to you tonight. Yeah, it was a winnable game. I don't know about clearing up toilets, Daniel, but yeah, they just don't have enough hitting in this lineup. When the pitching's doing well, they get beaten these games. Now, look, you had Soto leading off. Yeah, a couple of big innings had him leading off. So Soto didn't do anything tonight. If Soto gets a big hit, you probably win this game. 104. But look, I think that Ewing gives you a good at-bat. I think when he guesses fastball, he gets beat on the off-speed pitch, obviously. He tries to protect the plate. Benj is weak inside sliders, and they're getting the book on Benj. Until he stops swinging at them, they're just going to throw the ball low sliders, back foot sliders, and he can't hit them. But look, he said he was going to go into run prevention. The team defensively is the 6th best defensively when it comes to runs. The bullpen is in the middle of the pack, and the starting pitcher is in the middle of the pack. He has improved. Run prevention, he has improved it. The Mets are a better team preventing runs this year. But the problem is Simeon. He thought Simeon was a Simeon of 2020. He thought Robert was going to turn the clock back and figured Robert would have 8 homers by now and 9 homers. He thought Bichette would be hitting 290. And let me tell you, if Simeon is hitting 250 right now, and he's played somewhat like this for most of the season, if Bichette was hitting 290, he'd probably have 35 RBIs. If Alvarez and Lindor weren't hurt, the plan was okay. Polanco should be back in a week. He'll help. Yeah, Polanco is a good player. He gives you, I hate this term, but I understand when I started covering with this stuff I do, a professional at-bat is very, very important. A rookie, Vientos does not give you a professional at-bat. Vientos will swing at a ball, first pitch in the left-hand batter's box, which would have been 1-0. Then he'll get beat with a fastball because he was guessing, and he's 0-2 already, where it should have been 1-1. And then he has to protect the outer half of the plate, and he gets beat by an inside fastball. Vientos does not give you a good at-bat. Jared Young gives you a decent at-bat. Ewing gives you a better at-bat now than Vientos does. Benj, there's a little wildness. Benj has to kind of tweak a bit in his swing. Who do I like in the Belmont Stakes? You'll have to watch my show, Tony, Friday. I'll probably be doing a show with Mike on the Belmont Stakes Friday. Renegade, yeah. I had my picks out there. I might be going there. Probably going up Saturday. I had them out there on a show. I would think Golden Tempo has a good shot. He skipped the Preakness to get a little more rest. That's a dangerous horse. Yeah, well, Game, that's an interesting thing. Some players should be told you can't challenge. Soto, I would let challenge. Yeah, some players shouldn't be allowed to. And pitchers should never be allowed to, because too much emotion gets involved with pitchers. Catchers should have a good idea. I did drive by the new Belmont Park. It looks good. In fact, you know what I'll do, Tony? I'll take some pictures when I'm on the Grand Central Parkway. I'll post them up. How's that? But I'm probably going to Saratoga Saturday. And I'll do a live from there, actually. I'll do a live. So, no, it shouldn't be used. It should only be used if you're called out with the bases loaded, 2 outs, something like that. Jess, you know what? I heard 75% chance. I still may go up there. Jess, it's not that he has. I think he gets very frustrated. I think Vientos just gets very frustrated. He seems like a good guy. He's always caught in between. Back in the day, he'd go 3 for 4, then he'd get benched the next day because of analytics. You can't go by that. And that's the problem with him. He never gets a feel, and he has no plate discipline. That's the problem with him. No plate discipline at all. Mania, I would think it was his pitch count. Mania, he threw 63 pitches, threw 40 strikes. 63, they're building him up to take the spot. Next game it'll be 75 or 80. Yeah, Mania will be in the rotation now. They just couldn't push him. But yeah, Mania will go one more start, and then he'll be at 90 probably. Mania looked great. And what's the key, James? How are you, man? Mania was throwing 93, 94 tonight. With work, he's starting to throw a little harder. Big difference throwing 94 and throwing 89 with your off-speed pitching. No, no plate discipline at all. He's behind. I would like to see the stats for the league of how many at-bats he's behind 1 and 2, 0 and 2. I bet you it's upper 10%. Yeah, James. But you know that plate discipline, and then you see the difference when you see a guy like Soto, who, like, the umpire almost says, "Wow, was that a strike?" What? Soto's amazing. Soto is amazing. But yeah, Vientos, no plate discipline, and just a guy that is not a talented enough hitter to get by on not hitting a home run. When he hits a home run, great, but he doesn't hit enough home runs to warrant playing time. Gio probably stretching out. He's probably working a lot in the bullpen, and he's regaining some of his velocity. Which leads me to believe, you see, the problem with the elbow chips that Mania has is he was probably throwing good tonight. He was feeling good. He threw 94. There will be a game he's throwing 89 because the chips are bothering him. That's the problem with him. Excuse me. Until you get the chips cleaned out. There will be games he'll pop at 94, probably hit 95. There'll be games he can't get over 91. That's the chips. But there's no doubt in my mind that if he can get it to 94, 95 again, he will be very, very, and he's getting ahead of hitters. I don't know where J.D. Martinez is, but when J.D. Martinez was traded here, Vientos, who thought he was going to be the starting DH, was very disappointed. And J.D. Martinez evidently took him under his wing like a little brother, and Vientos really liked his relationship with J.D. Martinez. I think they should have J.D. Martinez working with him. He's working for the Mets, J.D. Martinez. He may very well be working with him, but it's not working right now. Yeah, Soto has an amazing eye. Very rarely will he swing at a bad pitch, especially now with ABS. He's lucky he gets pitched to at all. And I still believe, I told you guys I thought Simeon's not an everyday player anymore, but I thought he would get hot. And I told everybody Simeon would hit 18 homers, knocking 70 runs this year. And he will. He might hit 230. I thought he hit 255 originally, but he'll go 18 and 70. Absolutely. I still think Bichette will have a monster month. Either July or August. I think you're going to get a month out of him where he hits 350, knocks in 25 runs. I really do. He's too good a hitter. He won the batting title last year. He's a lifetime 290 hitter. This guy just didn't all of a sudden forget how to play. And if he was still hurt, he'd be on the IL. So he just, it snowballed. Yeah, Young gives you a professional at bat. You very rarely see him swing at bad pitches. You'll see him hit the left sweeper that he'll swing and miss, and that's why he's not a starter in the major leagues, because knowing if you could hit that pitch like Soto, you're an all-star. If you can't, you're a bench player. Yeah, well, Martinez, yeah. Well, you need a righty, really. More Beltran. But Martinez as well. Tomorrow, Tong will start. That's why they didn't use they used Raley, Weaver, but they didn't pitch a lot of pitches. Weaver didn't throw any. Tong will start. I know, game. Well, the Met coaching staff is terrible. I just don't have any faith in it. To me, when you have a team at the bottom of baseball and every big hitting statistic, when do you blame it? Look, the players have to be accountable, but someone else has to be accountable. Gio, I was just saying that Soto looks like a different player. He looks like a different player. First of all, I think it's that Lindor's not playing, but he's always smiling now. You see him? He waited after a catch for Ewing to start jogging off, so he tapped him on the back. Soto looks like a different player. Maybe he's got word that they're going to try to shop Lindor in the offseason. I am steadfastly believe that Stearns he won't embarrass Lindor because Lindor is a 5-10 guy. He can't just be traded now. But I think he will gauge if Lindor would consider going somewhere. Now, Lindor's wife is very tied into the political scene in New York. He probably doesn't want to. I'm sure she doesn't want to. But I would think that they'd rather have Soto with this team leading the charge than a split clubhouse. Because Lindor now is going to try to get close to Benjamin Ewing. He runs for office. And you know that he's going to try to now step on Soto's toes of being close with him. And that's going to start a riff again. Absolutely, James. There's no doubt in my mind Bichette will hit 250 this year. No doubt in my mind. If you put the proverbial gun to my head right now, I don't want him back either way. And you asked me what Bichette's stats will be at the end of the year. And you can mark it down right now on June 1st. I'm going to put it in the back of my book so I have it. I want you to hold me to it, guys, because I'm sure you'll be watching me. I am going to give you Bichette, Benj, and Soto stats. And you tell me the last game of the season, when hopefully we're doing a preview for the playoffs, you're going to say, wow, this Brooklyn guy really knows his stuff. Okay, Gio. Dante Bichette. Bo Bichette will hit 246 with 18 homers, 81 RBIs. Consider health, of course, also. Benj will hit 252, 14 homers, and 60 RBIs. Soto, 306, 38 homers, 100 RBIs. You want me to give you Ewing? I'll give you Ewing. Ewing, 7 homers, 40 RBIs, 255. Does it sound right, John? Does it sound right? And if Bichette gets traded next week, 37 homers, 119 RBIs, 490 you'll hit. But, yeah, Bo is the big overpay, but they had to. Philly probably offered him $35 million. That's the only reason he didn't go to Philly. They thought he was going to Philly. If the Mets signed Tucker, the next day, Bichette would have signed with Philly. Yeah, I think those are about right, those stats. You want a couple of pitchers? I'll give you Peralta, McLean. How's that? Peralta, 11-11, 3.39 ERA, 184 innings pitched, 167 hits, 70 walks, 198 strikeouts. McLean, (10-9, 3.54, 181 innings pitched, 163 hits, 66 walks, 203 strikeouts. If they're not traded, of course. But I think you're going to see. You have to remember also, in September, really good hitters have great Septembers because you're facing a lot of AAA pitching. In April as well. That's why I never trust the players' stats in April or September. If you look at a great hitter, they usually hit 340 in September because they're facing call-ups. In April, the weather's cold and guys aren't ready. Pitchers are way ahead of hitters. So I throw out April. I throw out September. You know, Soto's the kind of guy that'll hit 9 homers and knock in 30 runs in September. Hit 360. That's what you'll see Bichette do. That will pad the numbers. If I had to think of regression, Mr. September, John, I would say that I think you've seen the best of what you're going to see out of Brooks Raley. I think Raley will be on the downturn now. I think he'll be serviceable. You're not going to have the Raley of last year or 2 years ago. I don't think he's as sharp as he was. I think AJ Minter, I totally expect him to be on a DL again, IL, within a month. I think that Peralta will get traded. And I think he'll either, hey, Jeff, I think he'll either go to Milwaukee, back to Milwaukee, or San Diego. I think Milwaukee would love him back. Don't know if they'll deal with Stearns, though, because Stearns is going to have to hold them to the fire because of what he gave up for him. San Diego will trade with anybody. I could see them. Yeah, Peralta would be perfect on San Diego. San Diego has the best relief pitching in baseball. All Peralta has to do is go 5 in San Diego. If he went 5 with his 1 run or 2 runs, he won 18 games in San Diego. I would think Chicago will make a play for Peralta. Craig Counsell had Peralta. Bichette, the Giants. I'll tell you where Bichette would fit in perfect, the Yankees. Bichette could fit right in at third base there. Think how good Bichette would look in pinstripes. He's proven he could play third base. They have no hitting at third base. He would fit perfect with the Yankees at third base, and he'd probably do very well. And he hits the ball to right center, and in the summer, it's a home run at right center. Bichette goes to right field all the time. Yeah, Peralta. Hey, Jane, how are you? Lane? I'm sorry, Lane. How do you feel about the Mets? I think the Mets put themselves in a terrible hole. And I think if the Mets end up winning 81 games this year, it was a successful season, considering where they were. But the reason why I think they may not win 81 games is because I think that Stearns will trade guys. Depends. You see, the wild card is not, if you're 5 out of the wild card with 1 team in front of you, it's different than being 4.5 out of the wild card with 8 teams in front of you. That's the problem. The Mets are going to have 6, 7 teams in front of them. They could be 5 out, but you're going to have to expect everyone not to win. It doesn't happen like that. So Stearns will, and look, Stearns is getting what he wanted. What did Stearns want from day one? A rebuild. The problem was Stearns didn't go after Corbin Burns. He went after garbage bin guys, and they all were great. He didn't want to win the first year. He won, so how was he going to scrap it? They almost went to the World Series. So now I got to start spending some money. And then they lost last year, and he looked terrible. Yeah, Ray, it looks good. But I think that, Peralta will be traded. And Stearns has traded for Peralta twice already. When he was a Seattle Mariner, when he was very young, and he was Milwaukee. I think that he'll say, Freddie, if you want to come to New York, look, we're going to try to rebuild the team. Go try to win. I hope you want to come back here. We'll make you a competitive offer. That's what he's going to say to Peralta. Peralta, I think, likes New York. And he'll say, look, we'll give you a chance to win somewhere here. Doors open. Let's start talking. I want you. I've traded for you twice. And I think that will definitely happen. I think Bichette is going to be contingent on a lot of you're going to have to add a lot of money to that contract if you trade Bichette. If he picks up the option, his own option for $42 million, the Mets are going to have to pay 15 of that. Yeah, the Mets seemed, don't know how they seem cursed. Do I think Lindor and Soto get along? I don't think they care about it. I think Soto and Lindor are like two strangers on a bus. They know each other are there. They don't feel like talking to each other. They would call the hospital if something happened. Give me an ambulance. That's as far as it goes. I don't think Soto doesn't go for Lindor's joking around at second base when the team's losing with the enemy. That's not Soto. He's not into that. Lindor's running for office. Lindor is like Mondani, right? Smiling in every picture. He's looking for every camera, every picture. It's not a coincidence. His wife's the same way. Soto's not that way. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Lindor hasn't been in the lineup and Soto's smiling all over the place. I just don't think he likes playing with him. He didn't get along with Manny Machado either. And who's Machado's best friend? Lindor. He doesn't get along with that type of personality, Soto. I don't think he dislikes them. He just doesn't want to play with them. Yeah, right? Yeah, give me an ambulance. He won't even say who he is. Just someone's hurt. Of course he came here for the money. He would have gone to Philly. Philly was a lot more appetizing, especially with the rumors of what was going on here, the shit show. You had you ever hear a hitting coach go somewhere and start knocking the team? Chavez was all over Instagram knocking the Mets. Who does that? They got rid of their whole staff. You have Adam Ottavino on social media saying Mendoza 5 pitchers are getting Tommy John because of him. No, they were getting destroyed. Who the hell would want to come here? They $42 million brought him here. The injuries? Well, I don't know, James. It's hard now to fake an injury now. You got to send it into Major League Baseball, to the Major League Baseball office. You got to send the MRIs and stuff. You can't screw around anymore with that. I'll tell you something. I trust Bichette more to handle a rebuild with drafting than I do trading. Look, he drafted Carson Benj was his guy. And by the way, that's why he said, did you ever hear Stearns commit to anything? In February, he said he has a great chance to be our starting right fielder. Sure enough, he was, because that was his guy. I think he's very good with young talent. I think he has a good eye. I think he knows everybody's organization. I bet you Stearns could name the top 5 guys in everybody's organization. He's probably very analytical, and he's probably very anal with that. I'm sure he is. But I don't think he likes to pull the trigger on big trades. I think he likes to win every trade. I think he's got a big ego. He's like Cashman, likes to win every trade too. And if he doesn't feel he's destroying you in the trade, he's not going to make it. Well, sometimes you have to take the worst of a trade to help your team. If I have to trade Francisco Alvarez, and I know Alvarez is end up going to be Travis d'Arnaud somewhere, and it's going to kill us for the next 10 years, but he's not going to do it for us. I have to trade him. I have to get past the ego of he's going to kill us for 10 years. But he's going to kill you when he's here because he's not going to perform for you. Get someone that at least will be 75% of him, but can hit. What pitch? Once you get past that ego, you don't want to be the guy to send Nolan Ryan somewhere. You don't want to send Alvarez away and he hits 40 homers 5 years and is an all-star. Then he looks like an idiot. It's going to happen. If you trade Alvarez somewhere, he's going to, mark my words, he's going to hit 35 home runs somewhere. He doesn't even know how to hit now when he hits 20. He's going to hit 35 and 90 somewhere. It's going to happen. But it's not going to happen for you. So would you rather just sit and be frustrated every year that he should be better? Or get someone in here that's not going to be as good as him, but is going to help you? And that's the key. Alex is friends with Lindor's wife. And Alex is woke. And so is Lindor's wife. And that's the problem. I told you guys, I know someone who works for the Mets, and I know someone that works in the clubhouse. They had a screaming match, Lindor's wife and Nemo's wife, about politics in the family room. Being honest with you, you can believe me if you don't want to, you don't have to. I told you guys, soon as they removed Alvarez, I said he tore his college. Was I right? When they were walking him off the field, they said, oh, he just tore his college. I'm not that stupid. And I will tell you, I know for a fact that Alonso almost cursed out Stearns, and that's why he's not here anymore. I know that Soto has a big problem with the pride stuff. I know that for a fact. Not so much the celebration. He doesn't believe it belongs on Veterans Day on the screen. Nor did Nemo, nor did Alonso, when those guys are gone. Yes, that happened. It did happen, Ray. I knew the guy in the clubhouse. Yeah, it was. Look, they weren't killing each other. And from what I was told, now this guy saw this. He was told about what I'm going to tell you now. He didn't see it. But evidently, Diaz's wife is best friends with Nemo's wife, or girlfriend, or whatever, is best friends with her. And that was a little of the reason Diaz got out of here too. But evidently, they did patch it up. Now, he didn't see this, but he said that they did kind of say sorry to each other, the two wives. And this happened last July. And they, after 4th of July, and they did say sorry to each other. So he had heard from someone in the clubhouse, and no, they made up. McNeil and Lindor was politics. When they used to fight on the, way before that fight in the tunnel, they were having arguments 2 weeks before that about politics. See, people don't know that. I'm telling you. It wasn't about that on-field thing, and it was politics 2 weeks before they had an argument as well. Now, I heard that she's actually very nice, Lindor's wife. She's just a kid. She's a young socialist, like most of the kids coming out of college now. Doesn't mean she's not nice. And she's entitled to believe what she believes in. But you can't start a war in the clubhouse. And that's ultimately what happened. And that is why Lindor was not named captain. And the reason why Nemo wasn't named captain is because they knew they were trading him. They knew they were trading Nemo. That's why they didn't name him captain. And I also know, and look, you can believe me or not, and I don't blame you if you don't. But go to my channel. My friend Jeff, we played ball with Al Pacino. I knew all the Mets. You could watch them. And I don't have to bullshit you. I don't make any money on you. there is a big problem with a couple of guys in the politics. Not saying they don't like each other. In fact, the reason Lindor had a bug up his ass, and that's why he didn't get McNeil the car when he won the batting title. They had a fight about politics, and he made him sweat. And only when Lindor kept on getting asked about it, then he went and bought it for him. Lindor's not cheap. He's worth $200 million. He was mad at him. Yeah, Gio, I heard she's a very nice person. I heard that she brought in sandwiches for the clubhouse and or cookies or something. I don't want to give you the wrong information. It was cookies, or it might have been cookies. Her daughter's cookies or something. Lindor's daughter baked cookies, whatever it was. And she went right over to Nemo's wife and said, "I got you a coffee." And they made up, but it was a problem. But this I will tell you, you don't have to believe me. And again, I don't blame you if you don't. The reason why Lindor was not made captain was because Soto wouldn't go for it. That I know for a fact. Soto wouldn't go for it. He didn't say don't do it. They knew it would be a problem. And I really do believe Stearns is going to try to shop Lindor. And you're not going to make him a captain and trade him. They also didn't sign Marte because they did not want Soto and Marte ganging up on Lindor. They felt then they were purposely bringing in a detractor. They didn't want to do that either because they do like Lindor. They happen to like Lindor. Now, also, some of the players, again, I'm not there. But this is a guy that I know many years. I don't believe he ever lied to me. And he's told me things that are. When Lindor got hurt, the next day I told you this guy's out 3 months. You go back and check. The clubhouse guy said he's gone until August probably. Now it might be July, but no, they knew it was bad. The Soto's first problem, from what I was told, was there was a game, I don't know which one it was. The Mets were still fighting for the playoff berth a couple of weeks before. A guy doubled in 3 runs, bases loaded, to take the lead from the Mets, and Lindor was clowning around with him at second base. This is the guy that just probably helped to end your season. And Lindor was joking around at second base because they made a pitching change. Soto saw it, was shaking his head in the outfield from right field. When he ran into the clubhouse, he kicked the water cooler and stubbed his toe. And I don't know if you remember him limping a little, and people thought he pulled a muscle. He smashed his toe to the water cooler. It happened second week of September. But yeah, they didn't want to bring Marte in because they felt that, because Marte did like Lindor, and they felt it was backdooring Lindor, like choosing sides. But there will, and I don't know if this is true, but they actually were starting, the PR department was starting to put a little video about Lindor being named captain, and it was told cancel it. It was in the beginning stages. They said scrap the idea. Could some of this stuff be erroneous? Yeah, of course. I wasn't there. You know, would I swear my life, gun to my head? It depends. This guy's in his 50s. He's never lied to me. I know him a very long time. And he has always worked in baseball. He was good friends with Fred Hina in the 2000s, the Met trainer. Yeah, Ray, I don't bullshit you on here. And like I said, yeah, she's supposed to be a nice kid, Lindor's wife. But she wants to be Kim Kardashian. She wants a big Twitter presence. That's what she wants. And Lindor's the same way. Lindor never saw a camera he didn't like. Doesn't make him a bad guy. But Soto isn't into that. But I do think Soto was talked to. I do believe. Now, this is me saying it, not my friend Larry. I believe that someone spoke to Soto and said, Juan, take these kids under your, we brought you here for a reason. You came here to be the best player in our franchise history. That's why you left the Yankees, because you wouldn't be there. There you would be number 7 on Monument Row, right? Soto, as great as he is, he's never replacing Babe Ruth. He'd be number 5. Here he'd be the best player ever. They'll build a statue for him in 25 years. Take the kids under your wing. And all of a sudden, he's joking around with Benj in the clubhouse doing this after a home run. He makes a catch and he waits for Ewing to run in so he could wait for him to run in together with him and go like this to him. Well, you notice the difference in Soto now? All he does is talk glowingly about these kids, Benj and Ewing. When did you ever hear him talk glowing about anything? All he does is talk about these kids now. He was told, not told, but he was Juan, you're going to go down in history as one of the best ball players ever. Take them under your wing. Francisco Lindor is an infielder. You're an outfielder, Juan. You spend more time with these kids out there. Show them what it's like to be a winner. You're a lefty. Benj is a lefty. You could show him a lot. Ewing's a lefty. These 2 kids are lefties. Who better to show them plate discipline and show them what it's like to win than you? That's why we brought you here. Guarantee you, Cohen and Stearns had that conversation with him. Guarantee you. Absolutely, Gio, and I think he was told to. I think that they said, look, you're the one signed here for 16 years, not Francisco. These kids are lefties. They're hard-nosed grinders. They want to win every at-bat. Can you take them under your wing? And I think he was very impressed by that. I think Soto felt it's like gathering the team. It's almost my team. They came to me. They had the perfect out. Lindor's on the bench. He's not playing. Soto's on the field. Who's acting like a captain? When he makes the catch in left and he waits for his center fielder so he can pat him on the ass and run in with him. What are you patting him on the ass for? Well, he made a nice catch the catch before. He waited for him to say great play. Could have said that in the dugout. I believe that. I do believe that, Gio. I really do believe. Well, you could see it. You see Soto in the. He's always talking to Benj. He's taking these kids under his wing. Soto's not. I don't see Benj talking to Lindor. I mean Lindor. I don't see Lindor and Benj and Ewing, and I see Soto always talking to them. Yeah, he's running for office, Lindor. Now, listen, I'm not saying he's not a good guy. I'm just saying Soto is all business. Soto don't give a shit how you what mark your daughter got on her SAT. Yeah, if you want to tell him, we'll say, oh, nice, good for her. You don't give a shit. He wants to win a championship. That's what he's here for. He doesn't want to congratulate a guy that just knocked you out of the fucking playoffs with a double. I think that's terrible. Can you see Machado lifting Soto like that? Soto would punch him in the face. Everything's a game to Lindor. And you know what? It doesn't sit well with Soto. Okay, is Soto maybe too uptight? Maybe. But I'd rather have a guy that gets really mad that the other team just took a lead than the guy bouncing around, taking his batting glove out of his pocket, joking around with him. And we've seen Lindor do that. So you don't have to believe me. And I might be wrong on some of this, but some of this I'm not. And the wives arguing, I'm not wrong. The guy's there. But I think I totally believe now that when Lindor comes back, Benj and Ewing are walking over to Juan in the dugout. I believe that these kids are looking up to Juan. They're going to be his outfield partner for a few years. And I think if you ask anybody who's going to be here 5 years from now, they're not going to say Lindor. Well, I think he'd like it in New York if things were working out a little better, James. Things just aren't working out very well right now for him. Look, did he take unneeded heat about his wife? Yeah, he did. It's not his fault. Look, you got to back your wife. You know, I can't blame him for not throwing his wife under the bus, you know, but his wife should shut up. But that doesn't mean you don't defend her. She put him in a very tough position. And you have some guys that just don't go for all the young wokeness. I know one of them, I'm not sure who it was. I think it might have been Alonso, but I'm not sure. Was appalled when the flag was put on Veterans Day. Was appalled and turned around supposedly and said, how many fucking days did I need? Guy was standing right there. Now, is that a little prejudiced? I don't know. But you have a 90-year-old veteran crouched over and he sees a pride flag up there. How do you think the optics off of that? Do you think that looks good? Yankees didn't do it. The Dodgers didn't even do it, and they're in LA. Alex and Steve did. So is it a far stretch to see what's going on? Probably not. Ray, I was told, I didn't know if he was kidding me, but turned around on the field. So how many fucking days did he need? And that sounds like Alonso. I don't know. He didn't tell me though. He was drunk out of his mind when he said, but no, I would never want that game. But I do think now that Lindor is going to see who took over the team during his absence. I do believe that. I think now this is Juan's team. I might be wrong. This is just my feelings here. But I think this is Soto's team now. I think if you ask Ewing and Benj whose team it is, it's his team. And it's supposed to be his team. You know how I know that? You gave him $750 million fucking dollars. That's how I know it's his team. And look, thank you, Ray. I appreciate that. And I don't bullshit you guys. I truly don't. I see him having fun. And I see him having fun, and they're probably not going to make the playoffs. And this is a guy who hates losing. So what does that tell you? He likes the kids. I think he feels that there's a good shot now with these kids. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure these kids are good, because if these kids are good, it's better for me because we will win. I truly believe that. Yeah, look, Lindor has had a great career. Is he on the downside of his career? I think he has 1 or 2 really good years left. Defensively, you're never going to see the Lindor of 5 years ago. It's impossible. Do I think he's still a positive fielder? Not quite as much as he was, but he still is. Do I think he's an impact player? I don't think he's going to be 30 and 30 anymore. I think it'll be 25 and 25. I think you'll get 260 out of him, 80 RBIs as a shortstop. But I don't think he's a leader. Look, he comes to play. He had a broken toe he played last year. Look, there's no doubt in my mind Lindor tries to suit up every game. He doesn't dog it. That's one thing about him. But you need someone to lead in that clubhouse, and I think that's Soto. And it doesn't hurt when it's your best player. But we should have known when Soto goes out of his way knowing Lindor wanted to be captain, say, oh, I feel Marte is the captain. That's a real jab. Well, you know something? I was concerned, Gio. I was concerned. Because Lindor generally is a smart player. When I saw him making those mental errors, physical errors, you could be hurt, you're getting older. Mental errors for a veteran, a 10-year veteran, I thought maybe something was going on. And what was going on was the politics. I'm telling you what was going on. He was hearing it from all ends. It was going on. It was bothering him. He knew he wasn't going to be the captain. He was probably told before we were, look, Steve doesn't want a captain on the team. That hurt him. He wanted to be captain. And he knew why. He probably blamed it on his wife. But I will tell you this much. And I do believe this. I believe Soto, if Lindor were traded tomorrow, would be the captain. And I think he generally doesn't have that personality, but I think he'd take it now. Yeah, game, I know. That's true. Yeah, a lot of times when Lindor's smiling, he's not smiling because he doesn't care. But you can't joke around when a guy just cleared the bases and took the lead from your team when you're in a playoff race. You don't have to be joking around with him at second base. Lindor is very insecure. Lindor wants to be loved. He's very insecure. That I'm telling you, he's very insecure. Lindor went up and argued about an error because he didn't think it should be an error on his record 3 years ago. Called the official scorer and was pissed because he wanted to win the Gold Glove. Gio, absolutely. And Soto could give a shit less if you like him or not. But I think Soto is changing. See, I honestly think that he likes these kids, Benjamin Ewing. I think he likes these kids. And I think he was talked to. Look, they happen to be lefties, right? Great plate discipline, Ewing. Who more could he learn from than Soto, who has probably the best plate discipline in the league? You go over to Soto and say, look, the future of our team is you and these two kids who are both lefties, both outfielders. One, it's going to be up and down for them. Can you take them under your wing? We think they could be special. but I really do believe. Well, first of all, Ewing is very gifted defensively. Benj, I think he's going to be a positive. Benj is going to be a guy that's going to be a terrific defensive player and then lose it when he's like 28, 29. Like, I tell you who's not Tucker. Kyle Tucker. Tucker's not great defensively anymore. He was a Gold Glove player 3 years ago. For some reason, outfielders lose it, especially right fielders. No, Benj will be great for a few years and then he'll be average. That just happens for some reason, the right fielders. Ewing's going to be special. I believe Ewing will win the Gold Glove for the Mets. I do believe that. You could see how he's playing. He gets to everything. And he's just as good going in on the ball as at back. He's terrific. The Mets have a very promising young outfielder. Kamzi, take care, man. Of course, you're always welcome to come in. I'll cover the Seattle. I'll always mention our Seattle score when you're in here, even if they're not playing the Mets. How's that, Kamzi? Be well. Have a wonderful night. Be safe. So, a disappointing win. It almost feels talking to you guys like a win because I'm hanging out with my friends in here. But tomorrow night I'll be on again. Thank you so much for coming in. Tomorrow afternoon, if you're not doing anything, I'm doing a special on Tom Jones. I'd love you to come in and just support. This way I can get some views out there. Maybe people can find out about some of these shows I do. So if you just check in for a minute, I think it's 3 o'clock Eastern I'm doing it. But thank you so much for coming in. Let's go Mets. I love you guys. You know that. You make my night. And I'll see you tomorrow night, hopefully with a Met win. Take care.